Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard if you're brand new. Welcome back if you're not, and welcome home if that sits perfectly for you. This week we want to talk about what is up in terms of energy and astrology for the week of the 11th through the 17th of August, 2025. Let's get right in. On Monday, we're starting with a Pisces moon. That moon is going to trine Jupiter and Venus, who are big players this week. Mercury turns direct at 4 degrees of Leo at 2:30 in the morning Central Time. Mercury will clear his shadow on the 25th of August, but we will definitely feel the at this point. That Pisces moon also quincunxes the sun, and Saturn retrograding in Aries will sextile Uranus. So the challenge on Monday is how to allow the deepest of your truths to surface in a balanced yet powerful way. Your capacity to own your heart and your soul in an affirming way will allow you to claim any of these needed shifts in your own reality in order to manifest the energy of those truths, right? So get clear and then speak your truth. And the fact of the matter is, whatever you're needing to begin, Monday is absolutely that day. So you can 100% take this as your sign. Get busy, get started, right? On Tuesday, Venus conjuncts Jupiter at 30 minutes into Tuesday, Central Time. This happens in the sign of Cancer. That moon will move into Aries shortly after that. And then that Aries moon conjuncts Saturn and Neptune, sextiles Uranus in Gemini, and Pluto retrograding in Aquarius, opposes Mars in Libra, and trines Mercury. So again, this is go time, right? This is the go time vibe. It's super contagious. Venus conjunct Jupiter invites you to spread beauty and blessings all around. That Aries moon conjunct Saturn is really acting as a starter's pistol, right? For creating what it is that you need to be in creation of at this time. The balancing act comes with Mars in Libra. That is reminding you to consider all of the ramifications of your actions, not just to you, right, but to all of your relationships, regardless of the level of bigness or smallness. You see me air quoting there. All relationships are important. It just matters to you, right? So pay attention. On Wednesday, that Aries moon is going to square that Venus Jupiter conjunction and trine the sun. So on Wednesday, you might back away from all of the promises that you very, very happily made on Tuesday. What felt like the heck yeah, the right on, might really feel like a nah on Wednesday. Honor that if you can, but if you have become obliged by the agreements that you made, um, mm, you may try to get back to that headspace that you were in when you agreed to whatever it is that you said yes to. Just try, it might help. On Thursday, the 14th, that Aries moon will conjunct Chiron in the wee hours of the morning, and then the moon moves into Taurus. That Taurus moon will square Pluto and Mercury and sextile, nope, will quincunx Mars in Libra, and Mercury in Leo quincunxes, nope, sextiles. Wow, my brain is not doing it. And Mercury in Leo sextiles Mars in Libra. So Thursday, it is a day that might feel stubborn. Um, However, that energy of stubbornness can easily be turned into productivity. Focus on uh, your getting stuff done quotient, right? Mind any distractions and just keep on keeping on. You might shock yourself with the capacity for achieving. Here's the thing, later on in the day, um, see if you can't discern how you did that, right? Because odds are you probably can, but take notes because you might be able to utilize that technique at some point in the future, to flip a situation that might feel similar. So pay attention, mind your habits, figure out what you're learning so that you can put it to use in the future. On Friday, the 15th, the Taurus moon sextiles both Jupiter and Venus in Cancer. This is a beautiful day for LOVE, love, or honestly, recreation. It really just depends. These things are all over your agenda. Um, that Taurus moon and Jupiter and Venus in Cancer just drip with juiciness. So here's the deal. Try to get yourself into your own highest feeling state and then share it, right? Your sense of home, remember when we're talking about Venus in any respect, but conjunct Jupiter, triple that. We're talking about what home looks like, feels like, smells like, tastes like, sounds like to you. And so that sense of home is very portable on Friday. It will travel with you. So again, when I say share it generously, I mean just that, right? Hold on. Okay, there we go. When they jump, they mean a little bit more, right? So anyway, share it very generously, very, very generously. On Saturday, the 16th, that Taurus moon will square the sun, and then the moon moves into Gemini. Now listen up. The Gemini moon sextiles Saturn and Neptune and Mercury. The moon will conjunct Uranus, trine Pluto, and Mars. So by the time you are up and running on Saturday, the day is already abuzz with potential. Um, we said on Monday, this is a day of action, of starting, right? Of doing. This is also going to unfold itself with the energy of dreaming and visioning, and expression. This is Gemini moon energy. So tap into the unlimited potential that is available, right? Um, Honestly, the energy on Saturday is one of those ripe for the picking days. So reach and stretch and get that done. On Sunday, the 17th, there are no major aspects. There are no major aspects on Sunday. As always, the Eileen Land interpretation of no major aspects says this is a day to make it what you want, right? So give it permission to be whatever it is that it needs to be, and make sure that you're making very, very wise choices. Um, let's get right in. On Monday, we have the Six of Cups and the Page of Cups. This is really sweet energy, right? As we talk about, this is that day to allow your deepest truths to get to the surface in balanced yet powerful ways, right? Um, this is how you bring yourself to the well of unlimited, unconditional love, right? What a beautiful thing to start the week with. And really knowing that, again, your capacity to own your heart and soul will allow you to shift that into your reality, right? So, what you've experienced, um, if you can get to the heart of the beauty of those experiences, you can bring that to your current experience and existence and reality in a way that is unmatched, right? So if you can dive deeply, um, and get really clear, you can bring anything to your own table. On Tuesday, we have the Empress and Death. Again, this is a lovely pair. We're talking about go time. We're talking about releasing what is dead weight and planting deeply and knowing that what we plant will absolutely come to fruition, to blossom. We talked about this as go time, right? We're not standing around. Neither of these energies are standing around energy, right? The Empress gives you everything you need to plant deeply and move through whatever it is that you require is provided. And that death energy brings you the ability to know where to prune, where to crop, where to get rid of, where to release. Um, Remember that we're talking about Venus and Jupiter conjunct, right? What a beautiful way to amplify that beautiful divine feminine energy. And remember, we're just talking about energy, right? Not a gender thing. So, feminine energy is abundant and fertile and ripe for the picking. It is emotional, it is receptive. So, all of those things we are going to consider the ramifications of our actions in terms of, right? How are we available to receive? And where we're not, we're going to open. How are we available to be abundant? And we're going to deal with all the ways that we're blocking that and move forward, right? Death is an energy of motion. The Empress is an energy of reception. So moving toward that energy is important. On Wednesday, we have the Seven of Cups and the King of Wands. So, options, right? This is talking about how we might back away from all of those promises of yesterday. There might be other options that look great, and we might want to very, very impulsively ditch out on the things that we said, yeah, that sounds great. I'd love to do that. Again, if you are obliged, figure out why you said yes to begin with, right? And just honor the commitment. If you can get out of it, go ahead. But understand there are a million more options, right? Don't impulsively give up on what you chose simply because today something else is a little shinier. You just don't know, right? Beautiful. On Thursday, we have the Knight of Wands and the Star. I love how this week builds on itself, right? We're talking about this day of perhaps stubborn energy where you can just dive in and focus, not letting your distractions run the day, right? Again, we're talking about this same energy. Um, you might be able to get so much done if you just focus, right? This is about renewal, right? This is about wish fulfillment. So dive into the things that you have in front of you. And remember that you can put all of your energy into anything if you so choose to do that. Choose to do that on Thursday. See what happens. Choose to do that on Thursday. See what happens. Look, we have another double major day on Friday. This is, remember, the day of love, of recreation, of the Taurus moon sextiling Jupiter and Venus, right? Get into your own highest feeling state, absolutely, and then share. Change your perspective. Remember, we talked about really being able to share overly generously, not holding back, right? The Hanged Man, even if you've been a holder backer in the past, see what happens if you dig deep enough to understand that your own well of generosity is never dry, right? When you're giving of that sense of home, there's no end, right? It is an infinite potential. You can give any and everything away, right? You don't have to hold back. Shift your perspective on what abundance is and remove the notion of scarcity from your held beliefs about abundance. See what happens. See what happens. Another double major day on Saturday. This is the Lovers in Judgment. So this is about beautiful choices, divinely led choices, and how they allow you to move forward, right? We're literally theming up here. So this is that day where we're talking about starting, beginning, choosing, dreaming, visioning, doing, expressing, right? Unlimited potential. Again, unlimited potential. This is a day that is ripe for the picking. You can move through anything and choose where you want to go as long as you're choosing wisely. So choose wisely. And remember, that abundance ports with you on Sunday. Ace of Pentacles, Ten of Wands. All of your gifts are absolutely in direct proportion to what you're willing to leave behind. You have as much room in your hand to fit the gifts the universe is giving you as you're willing to ditch the nonsense. So please ditch the nonsense. Empty your hands this week so that the universe can fill them with infinity, right? There is no other, right? Jupiter and Venus conjunct this week. Mercury turns direct, so the confusion that we've been feeling lifts off, and we have this absolutely glorious Mars in Libra sextiling Mercury. Right? There is no other. Your actions need to be all encompassing. Your actions are for you, but they are also for the entire collective because there is no other, right? Every single thing and every single everything and everyone, seen or unseen, known and unknown, comes in as you, right? Every set of eyes you look at are your own. Look, I think we had this not long ago. I could be wrong. We'll see. Uh, let's get this message here. The essence of this card, the beloved, is the recognition of spirit in another and moving towards spirit through the other, right? Mars in Libra. It is when the divine appears to us in the form of our child, our partner, our friend, and we experience being in love. As we grow, we start to recognize the beloved in everyone, not confusing their personality with their divine nature, right? Not confusing their personality with their divine nature. We start this week with the Six of Cups, which is that unjaded, unhurt, anahata energy, the unstruck, right? We love everything and everyone because we don't discern a difference between them and us. We see everything as an expression, an extension of ourselves. Everything is the beloved, right? Absolutely. The invitation of this card, okay, accept the invitation to learn through the path of love. Expand your being through union with another. When you recognize the beloved in another, you call forth their highest and purest nature. Follow the path of love, right? So, again, identifying the places within yourself that you witness the divine is a gift. And the way that you choose to share it, um, it is in direct proportion to the depth with which you accept that by giving to another, you're giving to yourself. Right? All of those things are simply sharing your resources, whether tangible or intangible, with yourself. So if you limit your gift, you're withholding from yourself, right? Because everything is the beloved, everything is you, right? The medicine of this card, be careful with romantic love, the kind you fall in and out of. Own all of the projections you've placed on the person you're dreaming of. Remember that they are only mirroring back your own deep longings rather than revealing their true selves. If you fail to notice this, be prepared to walk through the strong fire of emotions once again. Remember how they say when you meet someone and your emotions are all popcorny and butterflies in your stomach, that's an indication that what you're experiencing is not actual love. That's attraction. That's lust. That's that romantic ooh kind of quality. True love is peaceful and calm and silent and assured and recognized, right? And so the way that we release ourselves from the impulsivity of, oh, this is what I need, right? Those are trauma signals in some cases. Pay attention to where you go in your depths, right? And what you allow yourself to witness, what you allow to be brought to you, and what you give away, right? That reciprocity shows you where you are in the cycle. Um, and ultimately, it's just a game of recognition that you are playing with yourself. Right? What else is love? It's a game of recognition that you're playing with yourself. So, y'all, look in that mirror and do the work there, because everything you see out there is simply a piece of that bit of work. Okay, gang. Yeah, be blessed. Take care. This is a tightropey kind of week. Um, Mars interacting with all of these transpersonals is really bringing us the energy, both individually and collectively, to initiate movement in our service to ourself and to the collective, right? And the collective is really just a representation of us in macro form. So, deep in the heart here of retrograde season, we are really being asked to create depth and balance, right? Depth and balance. This is tightrope time. The less you're carrying, the easier it is. Take care, y'all. Be blessed.